of the doTERRA Classic between the High Point Panthers and the Central Michigan Chippewas. Alongside the fantastic Amy Gant, I am Brandon Crow. Thank you for joining us here on ESPN+. Amy, nothing like getting volleyball started at 10 a.m. in the morning local time for a Friday. This is going to be a great matchup.
Well, I think what's so fun is this is the first match of the season for both these teams. A lot of these freshmen on the floor, their first collegiate match ever, so it's always fun to get these big moments right from the beginning.
You got a High Point coming in from North Carolina, and obviously Central Michigan coming from Michigan, and quite a ways for both teams to come out here and start the season.
Yeah, they've been really excited, but both these teams, I think, bring a lot to the table. It's going to be a really fun set of teams to play against each other for the weekend. A lot of good volleyball coming up.
Well, to start things off, let's take a look at the High Point squad here, and what should we expect today, Amy?
Well, I think you've got a lot of new players on the floor for both these teams. You've got a returner in Allie Gray for High Point as the setter, and it's always great when you have a setter coming back to anchor that offense. She's a returning all-conference player in the Big South. She's the leader on the floor, very consistent setter, so that's a huge attribute to this team who's got a lot of very young players, a lot of good physical players, but it's going to be exciting to see what she can put together with this offense.
And then on the other side for the Chippewas of Central Michigan and head coach Ariel Wilson in her first season, a lot of new things going on over there.
Yeah, a lot of new players, a lot of freshmen getting the nod. Obviously, you've got a freshman setter that will be setting this offense, and Molly Beatty, she's a 5'11 freshman, and then a lot of different freshmen on the floor. Natalia Raymond, who was their stat leader from last season, isn't playing in this match, isn't starting, and so she gets to kind of lead from the sidelines as a senior leader to try to use that guidance where she won't be on the floor.
Well, the first match for both of these squads to start their 2025 campaign is just seconds away, and the Smith Fieldhouse will fill up. We got a load of games today. This is game 1 of 4. BYU will come on in a couple hours, and then another game at 3 o'clock local time, and then BYU with the nightcap again later on tonight. But there are some there's some red jerseys and red shirts on the other side for Central Michigan. Then behind us over here, a lot of purple. So High Point and some fans making their trek out here to Provo.
And what you're looking at right now with High Point in the front row, they're going to be running an interesting offense. They've got, obviously, Allie Gray as a tremendous returning setter. She's going to be setting through the back row, but in the front row, Remy Katoho from Canada, the 6'5 freshman setter, will be setting through the front.
And we are underway here in the Smith Fieldhouse, and the Chippewas get the first point of the match and of their season.
I think what's so exciting is all of these points are learning curves. How fast can you adjust?
So a side out for the Chippewas to start things off. Good rotation on the outside, and what a kill for High Point. Elodie Lalonde.
And Elo just rejoined the team last week. She was playing in Canada. She was on the U21 team, had been at World Championships, and just came back to the team, and so is working her way back in.
Now Central Michigan gets that one to fall through.
I think something great about Central Michigan, if you'll watch these middles, they run such beautiful slides, hitter swings, really move quickly out there, and why not Ariel Wilson, a fantastic middle in her own right at Penn State, a 4-time national champion, so she knows how to coach, and especially how to coach middles.
Good ball rotation, and just barely misses outside to Central Michigan, and another side out for High Point this time.
There's that sub coming in for High Point as Allie Gray, as we get a good look at this swing. Just taking advantage down the line and then finishing on the outside, just missing those fingers.
And another miss on the outside for Central Michigan.
Well, and I think a lot of times when you play a team that has that big block in the front row, as a hitter you get a little frustrated. You try to maybe miss those hands, go over them, and it can really cause some errors.
And a service error for High Point. And one thing to expect from both of these two teams, there will be some rust to shake off for both of these two squads, as this is their first official match of the season. Good spike. And too hot to handle. And the Chippewas will continue to serve.
And again, that quick transition to the middle. Abby Olin, one of the few seniors on this team, showcasing that quick transition ability.
And a side out there. Oh, yeah, side out for High Point. No, it will stay. So the officials just want to make sure everybody's on the same page. High Point thought that they got the side out, but it was a touch. So Central Michigan will continue. And another point for Central Michigan.
That pass a little tight to the net. Allie Gray stepped under the net to set it. And now High Point reeling a little bit. A nice run from Central Michigan.
Big spike straight down the middle from Ella Grace Holloway. Perfectly placed.
Holloway at just a sophomore, 6'4", good size. And in the middle, what's nice, High Point is able to slow down that offense, that play in the middle, so she can really hit those angles.
Nice team block. And again, Holloway in the mix there too.
That's that quick. You saw Central Michigan really trying to find a seam in the block on that, but when you've got 6'4", 6'4" blockers out there, it's really tough to get past.
Elo with the serve for High Point. Oh, what a kill on the outside. Kept alive. Woo, big swing. Great rally between these two. From the back line. And Elo, who started everything with the serve, will finish it off.
Well, and what a dig from Willock Libero, absolutely stealing that ball, allowing her team to finish it off with the kill. Great defensive effort for High Point.
Elo, the freshman from Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. Gets another serve over. And a miss hit at the front from Central Michigan, Abby Olin. Just a miscommunication and mistiming.
Well, and it's your first match of the season. Freshman setter, that freshman to middle combination's really trick, but I like to see them going to that. It's gonna work and it's gonna open up some plays. Keep going.
And Elo with the service error. All tied up at 7 apiece. And that snaps a 4-0 scoring run for High Point here in that first set.
And Izzy Swears back to serve, the sophomore outside hitter, taking a much bigger role on the floor this season.
Izzy gets it over. Setting up on the outside. And too strong from Gia Padilla. And selfishly, I know we talked about Amy. We want that ball to go to #1 in purple just so we can say Gia Padilla as much as we can.
It is, and she's a fun player to watch too. So athletic, elevates so well, great ball control.
Great back set, even better finish. Addison Freeland doing work from the middle, the local girl from Harriman, Utah.
Freeland, a two-sport athlete. She also throws the javelin in track, and she just becomes more dynamic. At just a sophomore in the middle. She's a really big presence, and her offense and defense have really improved over the course of last season.
Grace Killian with the serve. Central Michigan with the rotation, kept alive by High Point. Another back set, and this one's out of play. To Central Michigan with the side out.
Central Michigan continuing to go with that slide attack. It's been very good for them. It's a really quality swing, but you've got to get that pass up to the net to really attack that.
Oh, great serve. And an ace from Central Michigan. Taylor Creep.
Just barely crossing the net, right down the line, and Central Michigan has their attack going. They're really gonna attack that 1 to 5 slot down the line and make Padilla think, since she is also a front row hitter right now, it's a lot on her plate, and they're gonna attack her, make her pass every ball.
So back-to-back aces for Central Michigan. Gives them a 3-point lead here in the first set, and a service error. So a sigh of relief for High Point. Lily Mulholland, another freshman, to serve for the Panthers. Oh, great hit. Right on the outside from the Chippewas, Brooklyn Connor.
And the 6'3" middle, Connor, again, off 1 foot. This is one of the favorite plays. Central Michigan has really gone too early, attacking that right side of the floor.
The attempted dump just too much for Remy Kataho. And a timeout on the floor for High Point.
Welcome to the greatest show on earth. Oh, yes, sir. All right, who's ready to kick off the season?
And a big smash from the outside for the Chippewas, kept alive by the Panthers. Another big smash, great dig. And an attacking error for High Point gives Central Michigan the point.
But look at the difference coming out of that timeout. It was like both those teams just turned it up a little bit. We saw a lot of power coming out of the back row, some great defensive effort.
High Point with the slide, kept alive, and a kill right down in front. Brooklyn Connor.
Connor with her 3rd kill of this set, and both these teams struggling at the beginning to really get their offense going, which is expected going into that timeout. Each of them only had 4 kills, but Brooklyn Connor definitely the hot hand right now for Central Michigan there on the right side.
Another big swing on the outside for High Point, kept alive by the Chippewas. Gia Padilla with the kill.
And I think where High Point has done a nice job and they're able to get those kills is by extending the rally. You've got Kaya Willock in there in that libero situation. This kill is only made possible with some great defense to really keep him in the play, allow your team a lot of different options and types, chances to serve.
And the block goes out of play, so the Chippewas tack on another. 16-10 so far in favor of Central Michigan.
Well, and look at the right side of the court for Central Michigan. That's where they're getting all of their points, whether it's from the right side or from the middle running a slide. That's where their attack is going.
Good service. And again, they're going to that same side. And touched by High Point, so point for the Chippewas. That one took a deflection right off of Sydney McKay. Central Michigan going to talk things over. A lot of smiles out there, which is what you'd like to see.
Well, and look how quick they come right back out of that timeout. They have gained some momentum out of that first timeout. They want to get back on the floor and get right back on the attack. And talking to Coach Ariel Wilson prior to this match, she said, we have got a team who's just willing to work and they're willing to fight and consistently come in the gym and get better and better and learn. So she's really excited about the athletes she has and their commitment, because both these teams, everyone here is kind of looking ahead. Who are we going to be at the end of November? You know, that's where you want to really hit your max there and be playing at your top. But these matches at the beginning are just so important as you learn and continue to improve.
And to instill confidence in each other and in yourself. So Central Michigan with the serve. Molly Beatty will do the honors.
And as a freshman setter, that's such a big load to carry. She's done a great job finding that offense and getting a rhythm.
And it comes up just short with Beatty. And a much needed side out for High Point. Trailing 17-11 here in the first set. Ooh, great dig. And they're going to say a net violation. It's a point for the Chippewas.
Well, and again and again and again, you see Central Michigan going to that right side of the floor. They're really going to try to avoid that tall block there on the left side. Plus, it's a really great shot for them to be attacking.
And a miss hit there in attacking air from Elo Lalonde.
Well, and that just feels like a timing issue as you figure out a rhythm with your setter and your hitters and the tempo that you want to run.
Coming to the near side now, and that's a good team block led by Grace Thomas right in the middle for the Chippewas.
Central Michigan really starting to roll at this point. They want to hit the gas right now, finish off this first set so they can take that momentum into the second.
Just 5 points away from doing so. A good slide and a nice kill for Madison Freeland. And Ella Grace Holloway, the outside hitter, comes back in.
And Freeland again there off 1 foot. She's able to hit well off 1 or 2. She plays right side well as when she's in the middle too.
Woo! That had some heat on it.
And how fun. Taylor Kripe, just a freshman, 5'8" outside hitter. We saw her hit out of the back row. She brings a lot of power on the floor and just immediately raises the level. Such a fun player to have in the gym for Central Michigan.
Now Alina Anderson with the serve. And another side out for High Point.
And Freeland.
Freeland.
Yeah, really finding a groove here. So as she continues to stay in the front row, you know, look for Allie Gray to try to get her the ball as much as possible in this series, because when you find that hot hand, you want to keep going to it and see if you can continue to score points.
Good serve. And again, going to their bread and butter on that outside, kept alive with the great dig. Now the back's line. Oh, a diving attempt, but a point nonetheless for the Chippewas.
What a shot from Taylor Kripe. 4-4. She didn't have a lot of room there and just is able to place that well in front of the 3-meter line. She's a player, just a freshman. She was named captain, which you never really see, but she's such a future leader for the Central Michigan team. She's got a lot of potential.
And too far for a high point. Addison Freeland too much on that one. And the Chippewas now just 2 points away from taking the first set. The service error. The ball had a lot of movement on it.
You're gonna use that light air here in Provo as these teams kind of adjust to serving at that high level, especially with the extra adrenaline you might get being on the floor.
Grace Killian with the serve. Gets it over. Oh, great heads-up play. And the dump works.
So much fun. Great choice to make that play, because you could see that the blockers for High Point really dialed into their hitters, had lost track of the setter. That's the perfect time to take the opportunity to go over on 2.
So set point for the Chippewas. And that'll do it with the exclamation point from Abby Olin. And Central Michigan takes the first set, 25-14. And we will take a break, switch it up. Set number 2 coming up next.
Brady Plus is a nationwide distributor providing supplies plus support in Jansan, food service, and industrial packaging. We deliver tailored solutions to make customers more productive, more sustainable, and more successful. Whether you're maintaining a clean and safe facility, running an efficient restaurant, or protecting products during transit, we have the expertise to solve your toughest problems. At Brady Plus, your biggest challenges are our best solutions. Learn more at bradyplus.com.
Now that BYU is in the Big 12 Conference, it's no surprise. The Cougars are facing some tough competition. As a business owner, you experience the same thing every day with your company. So let's work together. You'll be a vital part of our team by supporting BYU's 623 student athletes, and we'll assist your organization in getting the results you want. Email sponsorship at byu.edu.
That's sponsorship at byu.edu today.
BYU Athletics and your business. Let's team up.
Anybody that played fantasy football would know Julius Thomas. You had to have him.
I signed the contract I always wanted. I proved that I could be one of the best tight ends in the NFL, but it doesn't fix this.
The biggest fight a player is ever going to have is the fight with himself. That's a daily battle.
That was when I understood what my calling was, to go help people in their suffering.
Everything we do at BYU begins and ends with our students in mind. The most important work we do is building our students spiritually and intellectually. Strengthening each student's faith and testimony in Jesus Christ has always been a part of BYU's mission. You've entered to learn. Now go forward to serve.
Welcome back to the Smith Fieldhouse on the campus of Brigham Young University. Amy Gann alongside, or Brandon Carl alongside Amy Gant. Thank you for joining us here on ESPN Plus. Our producer Ron Ralston and director Julian Riley in the studio, helping get this project out here for you. And Central Michigan, after a slow start, really turned on the heat midway through set number 1 to take it 25-14.
They did, and they really got their offense going. If you look at both of these teams, they each had 23, 24 attempts, but Central Michigan was really able to capitalize, especially towards the end. Like you said, they were hitting right around 0 and then ended that set at 333 with 12 kills. And I think what was really interesting, it wasn't just one person. They were able to really diversify that offense. 2 players with 3 kills, 2 players with 2. So it's really tough when you're defending a team that has so many different options.
Central Michigan right now, again, that's the first match of the season, and in the first match under the belts of head coach Ariel Wilson in her first season. You had a good talk with her the other day.
Well, yeah, Ariel Wilson, wow, she's played at all levels of volleyball. We talked earlier about being a 4-time NCAA champion at Penn State. That's so tough to do. Just an incredible teams that she's been able to play for, and coming into Central Michigan has been fantastic. She's got a lot of vision for this team.
And on the other side for High Point, Ryan Meek in his 8th season.
Meek has built such a great program here, winning conference the last 3 of 4 years, wanting to go back to the tournament this year.
Woo. And Central Michigan starting the second set right where they left off in set number 1. Maggie Uwat. What a kill. Hewitt.
And Maggie Hewitt there, sophomore outside. Anytime that set's a little tight, you better hope there's no block. Unfortunately, there was no block, so she was able to hammer that down the line.
And there is Ella Grace Holloway, the sophomore. She was a bright star for them early on in that first set. I don't know why they shied away from her.
Well, I think what's hard is if you want to get your offense going, you got to pass. You got to be able to get that pass up to the net to develop an offense, open up some seams, and that's a tricky thing. So High Point really looking to steady out their passes for this second set.
And both teams looking a lot more active out there. From the back, and a little bit too far. So Taylor Kripe flying in high, but just hit that one, too much strength.
It was a tough one to get on for Kripe. She really had to be quick because it was so low and didn't really have the swing she wanted.
High Point with the service error gives the ball right back over to the Chippewas.
And I think because it's so important that you disrupt teams' passing lanes, you got to be serving tough, but you got to balance that with how many service errors you want to give up. It's a really fine line that you're always working on.
And a quick timeout. And we will step aside as well. Midway, or just starting, set number 2.
Welcome to the greatest show on earth. Is running riot here. Oh, yes, sir. It is all quite astonishing.
Is already rolling now for this new season.
Welcome back to the Smith Fieldhouse, kicking off the doTERRA Classic with the Panthers of High Point and the Chippewas of Central Michigan.
Well, and that was such a quick 3-2. We got our first timeout. That tells me that Coach Meek really wants to get on this. He doesn't want this match to run away from him, wants to settle down his team, get them running an offense, figuring it out.
And a good side out right out of the timeout for High Point.
Well, that's what you do. You take a timeout, you draw up a play. Hey, we're going to stick this pass. We're going to run a 3, find some open court, get the kill.
Central Michigan just caught in no man's land. Good strong serve. Great dig. And too strong on the outside. Oh, they're actually going to say it was tipped. So Taylor Kripe doing work on the outside.
Kripe getting that touch, and you can see she really likes a very quick set to the outside, can run very fast with a lot of tempo.
Good standing serve. There's the slide. And another point for Central Michigan.
That's an unfortunate error there with the slide because the set was really nice. Maybe a little tight, but it had good momentum taking that ball out, allowing them to hit off that smaller blocker.
Ooh, good finesse to get that over. High Point gets the tip. Point for the Panthers.
And this match really is kind of what you would expect as you get a good look at this swing and that tool off the block, is that these teams still trying to find that rhythm. You know, a freshman setter on one side, 2 different setters on the other, and it just takes a while to find that rhythm and connection.
Kripe really bringing the heat on that outside. Now they're going to switch it up. Good team block from High Point. Kripe again on the outside. Ooh! And Coach Adiel Wilson saying that was a touch.
Here it is again. Kripe at just 5'8" is really able to elevate well, hit high hands. When you've got a big block in front of you, that's your best bet. Just go after the block.
And a point inside out now for the Panthers. Love the net cam. Great look at that violation.
And now Central Michigan putting in Keelan Mill, 5'10" junior setter. They've got 3 different setters on the roster this year battling for position. It is really every day in practice, such a battle.
Nice back set. Kept alive by the Panthers. A big, huge block for High Point.
Central Michigan running the double quick, trying to disrupt the blockers, but Freeland all over that play, drops that left arm, shuts that down, and there's nothing like a block to really get your team going, get some extra momentum on your side.
Maya gets it over. Kripe on the outside. Chippewa's going right back to Kripe, and you can't stop that.
Well, look how fast that set is out to Kripe. It is so quick that as a middle blocker, there's no way you could get out there. Watch, it is so quick. The block is on their second step, so there's a huge seam in the block, and Kripe being so fast and with that quick arm, she can attack it.
And she elevates. High Point trying to get it over. We finally do. Oh, and that's just too easy on the near side for Brooklyn Connor.
A scary play there. Kripe comes out of nowhere to dig that ball. It looked like no one was going to get it. Handles it really well. And again, Central Michigan able to transition, and again, using that slide. Brooklyn Connor, the senior middle, has just been so dynamic.
And Central Michigan capitalizes on an attacking error. Now 9-6 in favor of the Chippewas here in set number 2. And a timeout on the floor.
You know, you really like to see adjustments that teams make coming out, and we saw High Point make a surge there. They had energy, they made great plays, got a huge block, but very impressed Central Michigan staying steady, and they raised their level, you know, and continued to attack. No one really letting a ton of plays go. A lot of times in this early, especially August, September, tend to see a lot of runs of points because teams struggle to stay focused and get back with the side out. So really like the response there from Central Michigan.
And we see, I mean, the intensity is not lacking. We saw a lot of energy from High Point so far here through set number 2. And we saw how they were able to bounce back after their last timeout. And I'm sure the Coach Brian Meek, will continue to motivate his squad here. I'm curious how they come out of this timeout.
Well, what he's going to want is you come out of the timeout with a really quick first ball kill. Get that ball back, and it all starts with the pass. Because finding that rhythm offensively is very helpful if you can be consistent with the pass, because you can kind of settle in on the tempo you want.
So Kripe will serve for Central Michigan. Nine serving 6 in set number 2. Great save by the Chippewas on the outside, off of the rafters. So Central Michigan will get that point. Crazy rally again here. If you're not familiar with the Smith Fieldhouse, the rafters are in play.
That makes for some fun rallies.
Yeah.
You got to play the angles.
And they actually come into play more often than you'd think.
Well, I think you've got these players that play with so much power and velocity, and the ball takes crazy spins. It's fun. You can never assume that gravity is just going to do its thing, because there's a lot of different angles.
Coach Ryan Meek excited about that one.
That's a really tough serve that allowed you to, that pass too tight to the net, and Mill couldn't quite save it. She gets caught.
Ooh, thunderous.
Well, if that pass is up there, you go back, because Connor's just been unstoppable. I think she can really see the one-on-one block in front of her and take that angle. In the middle, it's too quick for Freeland to get out unless she commits.
Connor right now, 714 hitting percentage. And High Point will get that side out with the kill.
And Freeland got that ball, but finished into the net. So you're gonna have Coach Meek arguing that the ball was down before she was in the net, and they can see if that they're gonna challenge that play. So now we have our first challenge of the season. They're challenging net at this point, but I think it's not disputed that she was in the net. It is, when did she go into the net? And High Point felt like that ball was down before she went in there, and this is actually a pretty critical point for High Point. They want to get this ball back and get some momentum on their side and not let Central Michigan get too far ahead.
As of right now, where it stands, trailing by 4.
And you love watching the coaches in these what really are extra timeouts, you know, taking advantage of that time to coach his team, talk about everything on the floor. This is the first match of the season. There's so much information that these players have to deal with. They're playing next to new people. They're in a new environment. You're dealing with sometimes a new system. It's a lot to try to take in. So
the officials are taking a look and some of the additional angles to try and see when the net violation took place and whether or not it was before or after the ball hit the floor. And the call on the floor went in favor of Central Michigan.
And I think if you're Central Michigan right now, you just stay steady. You want to keep that pressure on behind the service line and keep siding out. They've been so successful at especially those transition plays. They're getting good defensive moves.
So the call will stand and will stay in favor of Central Michigan.
And this is an opportunity. Anytime you have kind of that dead space, especially with no crowd, right? You got to manufacture energy on the floor. So all that momentum is up for grabs now. Which team can come out of the gate here and take it?
And if you're the Chippewas, that's not what you wanted.
It isn't, and you could see High Point especially cheer after that, and you see Coach Meek trying to rally his team. Get some energy out there. Let's go. Let's find a way to put together our own little run.
Elo Lalonde. And a service error. And the frustration in the body language for Coach Meek and his Panther squad. They got to capitalize on those moments. So now Molly Beatty will take the serve for Central Michigan. Beatty's jump serve gets over a near ace. Oh, hey, nice and easy. Couple deflections off the net, off a shoulder.
Tough angles, Central Michigan in good position, forcing what is kind of a free ball, down ball, and just Izzy Swears can't quite handle that angle.
So 10 serving 13 now. High Point with the serve. Good team block, unfortunately it was out of play for High Point.
Maggie Hewitt again on the outside for Central Michigan, using those hands, using that momentum to take that ball out of bounds. And again, Central Michigan doing a nice job, just really staying tough, side out tough, and keeping the ball on their side.
And I think another net violation on that attack.
But Molly Beatty took that one in the face. That's a rough play. She shook it off well, but man, that hurts.
I saw you even flinched on that one.
Yeah, I've been hit many, many times.
Central Michigan gets the serve over. High Point with the kill. The sophomore standout, Ella Grace Holloway.
That's the kind of play that High Point wants and needs, just taking that ball inside. Looking at the block in front of you, there was a lot of seam to hit into. High Point really wants to find those holes and capitalize on it.
High Point still in this thing. Right, we haven't called her name in a while. She gets it over. Big thundering hit, kept alive by the Panthers. Gia Padilla gets it over. And blocked, but it goes out of play. So point for the Chippewas.
And again, terrific defense for Central Michigan to keep that play alive, to continue to attack the ball. You give yourself multiple opportunities to swing, you're gonna find a way to get a kill.
Anderson gets it over. Padilla gets blocked. And a point for Central Michigan.
And what we've seen in both these first two sets is that Central Michigan gets better and better as the match goes on. They just continue to keep that pressure on and lengthen their lead. There's another net. Obviously, that one is tough to try to stay out of.
And another kill on the outside from High Point. So High Point still hanging around.
Well, and it's putting together those good plays with the good location. I think right now that figuring out the offense when you set with a lot of speed, you really have to dial in the location. A lot of these sets have been a little too tight to the net, and the hitters are struggling to get to it.
Oh, that one was spicy from Central Michigan, right in the front. A lot of power coming out of Olin. 18-12. The Chippewas extending their lead to 6. Blocked at the net, make that 7.
Olin, the best blocker on this Central Michigan team, the returning senior middle. So smart. As good a blocker as she is a hitter, she really has that entire game in her favor.
Gripe again, gets the touch.
I like the tempo of that set, just really quick out to Kripe, finding that rhythm. Look how fast that ball goes out to the outside. The big hole in the block, allowing Kripe a lot of different opportunities.
Kripe's 5th kill.
Did we say she's just a freshman, right? First collegiate match. Woo.
And that one in response.
There's another freshman, yeah, right there. Maya, 6'4" middle blocker. She really has become, or at least will become, a big player on this floor. Her offense is really impressive.
Great serve. Kripe again, and that one too strong.
And Kripe, whatever she's going to do, she's going to go 100%.
Yep.
So just misses out. She was going for hands, maybe an angle. Hasn't missed too much, but that was a miscue there.
Kripe going to tone it down a little bit, kept alive by the Panthers. And that's high percentage again. Brooklyn Connor.
And what's great about Connor is she is able to adjust. You could see that set a little low. She had to really tweak her arm a little bit, attack it early. That's what's fun about the slide set, is you have the opportunity to pick the ball off at different moments of its flight.
That was pure athleticism and power. And an ace for Kripe.
Kripe again just continues to attack. She'll be behind the line trying to finish this set out.
And another ace, back-to-back aces.
And passing is so mental, right? It's a completely mental game. And so if you have someone on the ropes, you've got to just continue to attack and attack. So what High Point's going to do is, let's make some adjustments. Let's make that play not exist anymore.
3 aces in a row for Kripe. And now it is set point. And she has sprayed the floor with these serves.
She has so much ball control and court awareness. For a freshman, it's pretty amazing.
Kept alive by the Chippewas. And a violation gives the point. And set number 2 to Central Michigan, 25-14. And we will come back for set number 3 here in Provo.
Rise and shout with an official BYU card exclusively at Mountain America Credit Union. Get it as debit or credit and in 2 designs. Enjoy more rewards and lower rates. Show that you are loyal, strong, and true. Get the BYU card made for you only at Mountain America. Apply online at macu.com/GoCougs.
The power of we is all for one. It's all for you. It's always there for you. It completes your circle. It says you've got a team even when you're out there alone. And with Intermountain Health in your circle, you'll always have the care you need to live the healthiest life possible. That's the power of we. Intermountain Health.
Everything we do at BYU begins and ends with our students in mind. The most important work we do is building our students spiritually and intellectually. Strengthening each student's faith and testimony in Jesus Christ has always been a part of BYU's mission. You've entered to learn. Now go forward to serve.
This field belongs to the ones who take it. This season doesn't come with the script. This is where everything is earned, and we mean everything. We don't do handouts here. You want the spotlight? Earn it. You want to shine different? Prove it. 30 years strong, and we keep shining bright. This is a different league.
Welcome back to the Smith Fieldhouse on the campus of Brigham Young University. We are through 2 sets, and Central Michigan has taken them both 25-14 over High Point. So 25-14 in both the first and second sets. The Chippewas, like you said, Amy, the more they keep going, the more they keep playing, the more energized and the more efficient they play.
Yeah, and throughout those first 2 sets, they got better and better as the match went on, and then they hit 20, and then boom, the game was over. You know, we saw that second set. Taylor Kripe serving 3 aces in a row after 20 points to finish that off. Just an amazing run from the freshman.
25-14 for both the first and second sets for Central Michigan. And we talked about the strategy. We talked about Adiel Wilson earlier. And for Ryan Meek in his 8th season at High Point, a lot of fresh, new, young faces on this squad. And this is the point of the season where you're trying to manage, you're trying to put those puzzle pieces together, see who fits well with whom. And he's just right in the thick of it right now.
Right, it's such a learning game for these coaches. You just get so much data in these first 2, 3, 4 weekends that you try to fit together. So much to work on with your team, and how do you adjust it? He's a terrific coach. He's put together some fantastic teams in the Big South Conference. Once again, preseason pick to win that conference, because he just has that ability to continue to create good teams. He's got so many good players, a lot of which, you know, we talked about. Ella Lalonde just recently came back to the team this week after being with the Canadian national team, the U21 team. So getting comfortable with a team on the floor takes time and takes a lot of reps. And so I think both of these coaches really know what this match is about, and these first 2 weekends it's learning. You know, it's interesting for both these teams, Central Michigan and High Point. They have scheduled so crazy this preseason. They don't have a home match until October 3rd. So they are on the road, and talking to both coaches, it was, we're gonna learn, we're gonna battle, and we're gonna be in it, you know, come November. And so I think that's what they're looking ahead to.
To be the best, you gotta beat the best. And Ryan Meek last year, 13-1 in conference play, big 2-time Big South Coach of the Year in back-to-back years, and he knows what he's doing, and getting these teams and getting, for both schools, getting them exposed to a bunch of high-profile programs is only going to increase their teams and their programs' level of play.
Right, it's fun to see these different conferences come together and play each other, because that's the only real metric you can take as you look ahead to the season to see how they're doing. So it's fun to get, you know, a Big South Conference, Mid-American Conference, just so many different conferences in this tournament. It's really exciting.
So Central Michigan took set number 1 and set number 2, 25-14. And we are moments away from kicking off set number 3. And again, we're coming to you live from Provo, Utah. This is the doTERRA Classic, the campus of BYU. And Central Michigan will start things off here in set number 3. Molly Beatty will have the honors. And we're underway here. And High Point gets the kill from the high point right down the middle, and Addison Freeland.
And we saw earlier, it's not often that you have a middle blocker out of system run a 2-ball in the middle. But what that is it allows for a lot of ability for these middles to really hit angles and see the block in front of them and adjust around it.
Grace Killian with the serve. And High Point, back-to-back points. And Maya Bukovchin.
Watch Bukovchin. She doesn't have time to get off. She doesn't have time to get an approach. But she knows, hey, I've got to be up in the air when the ball is set. So she does a 360 spin and is still able to get that kill.
And that one misses too far on the back line. But 2 straight points to start set number 3 for High Point.
Exactly. You know, that's the best start that they've had, just coming out of the gate firing. They want to make this third set completely different.
Rainey Weidman with the serve. Ella Grace Holloway. Every time we call her name, it's because she's done something great.
Right, and I think High Point can use this mismatch in physicality. They've got a lot of really tall players. Holloway at 6'4", Freeland at 6'3", Bukovchin at 6'4". A lot of tall players. If they can utilize that physicality, they can score a lot more points.
And the point for Central Michigan as that one fell straight down in front of High Point.
Those plays are always scary. You especially don't want to see any sort of ankles or anything, so both these teams did a nice job to stay healthy in that and land on their sides.
High Point gets a side out. High Point on top 4-2 early on here in set number 3. Now Lalonde with the serve. And a big kill for another side out on the outside for Central Michigan.
Again, that right side of the floor, the favorite for Central Michigan. They do such a nice job moving it around and getting it to so many different people. It's not just one person out there attacking. They're running slides, they're hitting high balls.
And the adrenaline flowing a little bit too much for Izzy Swears. And Maya Bukovchin. And that one's too long.
I think both of these teams would like a little more pressure on the serve and not so many errors, but it's to be expected in your first match, figuring that out. But both teams are looking to steady out a little bit and keep that pressure on. Now they're looking to steady out.
So High Point with the serve now. Allie Gray from Omaha, Nebraska, the transfer from Arizona State. And a great kill from Central Michigan to get it right back.
And again, that tempo just looking so good in system, right? You've got the pass up to the net, you run the tempo, you can tell the outside hitter has hit their groove. There's no discrepancy there, it just looks smooth.
Good setup on the outside. Gabby Hill from Happy Valley, Oregon has to be happy with that.
Yeah, our first kill is a collegiate player, freshman coming in, and this is an opportunity. All these players that get a chance to step on the floor, you want to do your best because this is kind of a tryout, right? Preseason, figuring out who the best lineup's going to be. Every time you step on the floor, the coaches are taking note.
And that was just a great heads-up play midair to make the adjustment from Brooklyn Connor.
Brooklyn Connor again. She is 8 for 10, right? No
Not
errors,
bad.
hitting 800 in this first match. Incredible.
And that's just too easy on the outside for Swears. And she'll do that all day long.
I think every volleyball player's eyes just get a little bit bigger. Excitement when you see an overpass coming your way. It's the best set you'll get all night.
High Point gets it over. Kept alive after the block at the net. And that's how you do it right there from Elo Lalonde.
And I think Lalonde excited about that one because of the kill, but most importantly, she didn't want to pass that ball again because that passing was breaking down a little bit. High Point struggling to stay in system, and that's a big role when you're a 6 rotation outside hitter. You take a ton of balls passing and then have a big role hitting as well.
Nice back set. That was a beautifully executed play from Central Michigan.
The speed on that set was unbelievable because that pass wasn't to the net. She's off the net and just shoots that ball behind her. A lot of room for error there, but wow, that they were able to maintain that and get the kill was very impressive. That's not an August set.
9-8, High Point with the side out.
And Bukovcin just really picking it up these last 2 sets, leading her team, well, almost, yeah, leading her team in kills. That's her 6th.
Now Brooke Briscoe will get it over. Kept alive. And too hot to handle in the back.
This set all tied up. Very different from the first 2, as it felt like High Point was always playing from behind, trying to come back. As they maintain this closeness, they can continue to attack.
The touch for Bukovcin. And Bukovcin's really come alive here in this 3rd set.
Yeah, I mean, 7 kills, she leading her team. So find that hot hand. She's able to really mix it up as well. She's going, she hits well in front of the setter, behind the setter. She has a lot of range. Also at 6'4", really tough player to try to stop.
And that's tough to stop right there as well. Straight from the outside.
And you didn't even have to see who hit that.
Exactly.
Right? You knew who swung at that ball based on how it came out of her hand. It's going to be high velocity, a lot of power, everything coming from Kripe.
And great stuff at the net. And Central Michigan bounces back to retake the lead 11-10. Take another look at that. And Kripe right there in the right place at the right time.
Right. Katoho can't quite get that ball past that block in front of her.
And a great kill from the outside from Gabby Hill.
We got a battle here. You'd love to see these teams going back and forth, just trading those first ball kills.
See what Bukovcin can do from the service line. An errant pass, kept alive. And maybe trying to do a little too much on that one. Put an awkward spot, Kripe was.
Exactly. I think the phrase speed kills, it goes both ways, right? When it's in system and it's good and it's fast, then great, it's gonna kill that block. But when you miss just a bit, that's set a little too tight to the net. It's so fast, there's a lot of room for error.
So timeout on the floor, High Point 12, Central Michigan 11. Midway through set number 3. And High Point gotta win this one to stay alive to avoid the sweep. We talk about here we are in Provo, Utah, and Central Michigan has quite a bit of some crowd base and some fans that have come out here. Labor Day weekend, so a good travel weekend to make a trip out here. But if you are the Chippewas, it's gotta make you feel good to look in the crowd and see some red.
Yeah, a lot of it, right? Like 30 people coming out to support you, and that's a lot of energy for this team, a lot of excitement for what they can do heading forward. And it's so great to have not only the support of your team, but your family and friends. I think it gives a lot of energy. Really great to see.
And then behind us too, there's a small contingent of purple.
Yeah, High Point has their fans as well, a lot of them out supporting.
And High Point right now with a 1-point lead. Bukovcin gets the serve over. And Bukovcin can't handle that one. 12-12.
Well, High Point continuing to battle, work their way back up. They're still quite not hitting at the clip they'd like to, but they're continuing to work hard. For Central Michigan, plays like that, right? That quick side out, get the ball back.
Oh, miscommunication. That back line gives way for an ace for Central Michigan.
Kripe with her 4th ace of the match. We saw her finish out that second set with a trio of aces, and here she is again, this time utilizing going right in between the seam. That miscommunication.
Going right back in that same spot, kept alive by High Point. Knocked over with authority from Gabby Hill.
And Hill has come in this third set with showing a lot of poise, making adjustments on her swing, getting a couple kills. It's a big roll and tough on a freshman. There's a lot of young players on the floor on both these squads who are really learning as they go.
Oh, that was a nice play. Addison Freeland with the kill for High Point, and again they retake the lead, just going back and forth.
Right, and once again it's that out-of-system 2-ball in the middle. Freeland, using her size, is able to hit angles and around what is only one blocker in front of her, so she's got a lot of court.
And that one falls through for Central Michigan. Central Michigan has a team hitting 373. High Point 117. 6 aces total for Central Michigan. And 4 from one player. Attacking error. Self-inflicted wound for Central Michigan.
Well, and you can't take anything, all of your data is from the first 2 sets, right? Where we had Central Michigan at this point already having maybe a 3-point lead and then just really stepping on the gas, getting all the momentum, finishing it out. Right now, High Point in control a little bit. Can they really finish strong?
Now a 2-point lead for High Point here. And that's gonna have Audio Wilson call a timeout. Try and reset here.
And this is the first time that Central Michigan has been down at this point. So there's another really data point, right, for Central Michigan and for High Point. How does our team respond when we're down and we need a side out and we're struggling a bit? So you get to learn and have these different opportunities.
25 kills for High Point, 33 for Central Michigan right now.
And Coach Wilson, just looking at what a career she has had and the amount of knowledge and information that she can pass on to this team. She's been in every environment, played professionally, played at the highest levels, has been through it all. And so this is a good opportunity to help her team to know how to handle it.
So High Point, their biggest lead so far of the morning, 16-14, and the latest lead that they've had as well. And again, they're trailing 2-0. Central Michigan taking the first and second sets 25-14 apiece. Now what can High Point do?
They want the pass. Get that pass up to the net.
And a service error gives the ball and point right back to Central Michigan.
And that's a frustrating one out of the timeout. Great pace on that ball. It just floated out. But what it did is completely took Central Michigan off the hook. There was no pressure on them to perform, right? They didn't have to stick a pass. They were down. How would they respond under pressure? And High Point kind of took their foot off the gas there.
And miscommunication there between Central Michigan, something we haven't seen so far this morning, and High Point will take advantage. Now High Point with the serve. Grace Killian, sophomore from St. Louis. Good rotation. And Central Michigan with another side out.
Here's that pressure down the line as we look again. Good push all the way to the outside. With a big double block in front of her, you have to have that set all the way out to give yourself an option.
And that's just one of those plays that you just get lucky with the touch.
You can't practice that.
No.
But you turn around and you pretend that you did. And that was all in the plan. The paintbrush right off the top.
Oh.
It's such a tough ball.
Again, High Point with the 2-point lead. Brooke Briscoe.
And I think for High Point, just too many missed opportunities when they earn the ball back and then miss a serve.
And another missed opportunity there from Central Michigan.
Well, and here it is coming down, those missed serves, yeah, they hurt, but in the first two sets, the score was 4 or 5 points. Right now, it being close, like this is down to the wire. We're getting to the 20-point mark. You've got to really dial it in.
And Kripe barely misses in a matrix-style avoidance on the outside, gives High Point their largest lead.
Right there, that first team to 20. Kripe is going to jump and try to get hands. Woo, just misses 2 different players, but High Point in control here.
High Point gets it over. And that's what Central Michigan needed right there, Swears.
Well, and just Central Michigan going back to what got them to this point, which was great attacking on the right side of the floor.
Through the trees. Now Izzy Swears at the service line, gets it over. The finesse kept alive. The attack and the kill from High Point.
And that gets the coaches off the bench because that play right there felt in system. It was smooth. You can see a terrific defensive effort. And then that back row kill. Milan's on the right foot, right? She's in her approach. She doesn't have to adjust. That set was perfect tempo.
Bukovcin. And an ace from Bukovcin.
You looked at the bench. The coaches, instead of cheering, just kind of exhaled loudly, like I was not ready for another missed serve.
22-18. High Point can smell it. But can they get to the final? Tipped up in the air. And another kill. Gabby Hill.
Gabby Hill coming in this third set. Freshman, just an incredible job. She's 3 for 4. 4 for 5. She's hitting 800 too.
Bukovcin. And that one sailed high and wide.
That is adrenaline in your, just completely overrunning your system.
High Point 2 points away from taking set number 3 and avoiding the sweep. Gabby Hill with thunder and the lightning.
There's a run from High Point. This is kind of what they wanted to see. Get this third set, extend it to 4, and see what happens.
Set point for High Point. Joust at the net. Gabby Hill, somehow, Central Michigan got that one over. Hill again, blocked, and Central Michigan stays alive.
You can see Hill just hammering that ball hard, cross court, cross court, cross court. Finally, Central Michigan's like, I think I'm gonna line up cross court, shut that down.
And she stays perfect. Ella Grace Holloway, 1,000% so far in the afternoon. And High Point takes set number 3, 25-20. So Central Michigan wanted the sweep. We'll be back for set number 4.
Welcome to the greatest show on earth. Is running riot here. Oh, yes, sir. It is all quite astonishing.
Is already rolling now for this new season.
Second coming of the Lord while you drive. You can even get Come Follow Me insights while you exercise, ensuring that you always have time for what matters most.
I did some soul searching.
I started praying. I said, whatever you're doing, just don't take this one.
Challenges come with pain,
There's no other story like it.
but pain will not win.
Your Jayhawks are national champions!
Pursue the dream.
Don't let anything stop you.
If I can make it this far, you can make it even further.
No matter what I do, all the glory go to God.
It's given me a great sense of purpose.
This is my life's work.
This field belongs to the ones who take it. This season doesn't come with the script. This is where everything is earned, and we mean everything. We don't do handouts here. You want the spotlight? Earn it. You want to shine different? Prove it. 30 years strong, and we keep shining bright. This is Big 12 football. This is a different league.
Welcome back to the Smith Fieldhouse on the campus of Brigham Young University. Brandon Crow alongside Amy Gant. And High Point avoids the sweep, and they take set number 3, 25-20, after Central Michigan taking the first 2 sets. And that was a huge boost of energy for High Point And let's see if they can carry that momentum, Amy.
Well, and I think we can't underscore enough, this is the first match of the season, right? You can't call back to, remember when we were down and we can, this is it, you know? So it's like High Point is, hey, we're in this. We've already won a set. You know, we're here to go. But if you're looking for Central Michigan, we talked Natalia Raymond. She was their stat leader last season, looking to be their big outside hitter. She's out for the season, or not for the season, just for the weekend with an injury. And so she's leading from the bench. But what does that do to the other players for Central Michigan who've had to come in and fill a really big role and step into a situation that maybe they weren't expecting to?
So here we go, set number 4. Can High Point continue with their momentum that they had in set number 3? Or does Central Michigan finish them off? And that's a great way to start if you're the Chippewas. Maggie Hewitt.
And we'll just keep saying so fast, right? That ball so fast to the outside. Maintaining the tempo even when that passes off the net is really disrupting that block for High Point.
And an ace for Central Michigan. They're 8th this afternoon, 7th this afternoon.
Well, and that's a spot I think Central Michigan has really been able to do a nice job, and that's disrupt those passing lanes. They obviously have a ton of aces, but they're really keeping High Point from finding that rhythm offensively.
Somehow Central Michigan kept that alive. Holy cow. And that ball hit the white line. It's a point for High Point.
For High Point, what they've been able to do and that adjustment they've been able to make that I think helped them win that third set, and that kind of looked out.
It did.
But they've been able to slow down their offense, shoot the ball high, and utilize the tall hitters that they have.
Point for Central Michigan.
And Coach Meek off the bench again. We saw how early it is to get out quick. I think he's recognizing he wants his team fast. They've got to control the things they can control. Get that pass up to the net. Make sure the setters try to stay on their side.
Big hit from the outside. Wilson gets out of the way, and her coaching staff too. Kripe. Oh, what a dig. Perfectly placed, kept alive by HPU. Whoa! Somebody had to lose that point, but Central Michigan won it.
Yeah, both teams just really laying it all out there. Incredible defensive effort. Wilson, how she popped that ball up. Just an amazing effort to keep that in play, and then the tool off the hands.
And a tip.
I'm sorry, that was Gray earlier. And we're gonna challenge touch again. Ryan Meek wanting to challenge that play. I think he's recognizing when we won that third set, we started quick. They were the first ones out of the gate, and they maintained, kept that ball close. Right now, it's running away from him a little bit, being down 3.
From that angle, it looked like that the ball took a different rotation after coming off of Ella Grace Holloway. I mean, she has been perfect so far this afternoon, so if you're going to trust anybody, you might as well trust her. But Central Michigan on top, 5-1 early on here in set number 4. And again, the challenge is a touch. Ooh, what do we have here in net cam?
Yeah, that's really tough to see. And oh,
ooh,
there
yeah,
you go.
Right there.
Oh, huge touch. Yep.
Right there. Perfect. The finger bent right there. Look at the net cam. Look at our crew, Julian Wilson and Ron Ralston and staff doing their thing. And that's why they get paid the big bucks right there. Look at that. Boom.
I think
Julian
that's a
Mustache
big play.
Riley.
Big play right there for High Point should they win this point. Reverse that, keep it close, and it's still early in the set where High Point can try to fight their way back in.
And if this call does get reversed, then that will be a perfect afternoon or early afternoon for Ella Grace Holloway still. And it is a touch. So side out for High Point. And again, great work to our replay staff for getting that angle.
Well, and although
Big
High
Mike.
Point's still down, right? Down 2, but hey, we're in this. We got to win, and they want to come back and really try to fight their way through.
Kripe with the touch on the outside. Double block. Nice dig. Kripe saved it. CMU gets it over. And that's in.
Well, and something I think for High Point, just it's the first match of the season, just steadying in and locating the ball if you're a setter. Really keeping it off the net where your hitters have an opportunity to swing and focusing on location rather than maybe trying to be too tricky with it.
And too strong from Sweers.
And this is an opportunity again, Central Michigan, you know, they had been in the lead when they were pressed in that third set. They struggled a little bit. So here's High Point wants to keep that pressure on, and Central Michigan has the opportunity to really try to fight through that pressure and play from behind.
Hey, there she is. Kripe flying up and doing her thing.
And I think what happens when you are playing from behind, you tend to get tentative, right? But a player who has not gotten tentative or won't, it's Kripe. She's gonna get up and she's gonna hammer that ball regardless of the score. You know she has that in her, and at just a freshman, she plays with so much poise.
Big swing, kept alive. Kripe again. And couldn't get it over.
Well, and that was an angle a little too much. She wanted that really sharp cross court, probably not a well-advised high yield swing there.
All tied up at 5 apiece early on here in set number 4. Central Michigan switching up and coming near side.
And you see the location on that set, just beautiful from Beatty at just a freshman. We'll just keep saying it because it's hard. Running a team, like the quarterback of the offense, there's a lot of pressure on your shoulders, and she's making good choices and locating the ball well.
Oh, the power and the touch off of Central Michigan, so High Point tying it back up again.
Gabby Hill back in there again for her team, her 6th kill. She's 6 for 10.
Gabby Hill, really what pushed High Point over the edge.
Right, she didn't start this match, but she'll probably start the next one.
Kripe, way too hot off that one.
Well, and this is the challenge as a hitter and as a setter, right? At some point, you can't push the tempo. You've got to slow it down a little bit. And then as a hitter, you've got to decide, do I have a green light swing, like everything's in system, or is it kind of a yellow light where I need to back off a little bit and make a better choice? And that just comes with time.
So side out for Central Michigan.
And Brooklyn Connor, again, a player who can play right side, she can play middle, and because of that, she's really good off of 1 foot. They have her right there on the right side, but she's able to go off 1 foot, run the slide, very dynamic. So it's tricky for these opponents to decide how to line up when you've got so many players who can do so many different things.
Nice block at the net. And the attack from the outside.
And no touch on that play. Trying to get hands, did the block touch it? The officials decided no, they didn't. So that's a Central Michigan point, and they are back in control.
Gabby Hill.
And again, Hill really, you notice that ball kind of dying on the inside. What Hill does is she jumps to it and attacks high hands. It's kind of a scary set when you've got 2 6'4" blockers in front of you, but she's able to use her angle to fix it.
Whew. Kripe flying in from the back. Too far, says the outside judge.
And this fourth set kind of settling in like we saw in the third set with each player back and forth. They were tied right around that 15-point mark, and then High Point went on a run.
Connor gets it right back for Central Michigan.
Yeah, Central Michigan does not want that, and who else to get the ball to? Connor. She has been so fantastic. With her 10th kill, she's now, or 11th kill in double digits, leading this team.
All tied up at 9 apiece here in set number 4. Chippewas to serve. And an ace. Ace number 8 for Central Michigan.
That serve has worked so well for Central Michigan, and they're moving the ball around really well, especially the ones that are falling in between players. That's a lot of the time what you see, especially in these first sets, because you're not used to passing next to someone. There's uncomfortable, you don't know, there's not a lot of communication, and so utilizing the seams early in a season is really smart.
Central Michigan has 10 service errors, and High Point has 9 so far. Perfectly placed in the back corner from Kripe. And that smile says it all.
And those are frustrating when they fall because it's a tip with the hands, although well placed. If you're High Point, you thought that ball was going to go out, but you couldn't have a better spot for that to land, just right in the corner on the line.
So Beatty, the jump serve. And again on the outside, Ella Grace Holloway, Miss Reliable.
All right, Holloway's getting close to 10 kills as well and is perfect so far. Just really, or without an error. She is 9 for 10.
Kripe keeping that one alive. And the block at the net. High Point still with it. Good block from High Point. Oh, and the dump in no man's land. Elo Lalonde.
Well, and that's just a little lack of control during that rally of locating that ball up at the net. You see good defense, but a little too tight there, and the block for High Point just working hard, getting work done, moving. Look at the middle, so much effort.
And that's high percentage on the outside. Maggie Hewitt.
And again, pushing that ball to the outside, a great push. And that ball almost hits the antenna, but it hits the net only, and again, we're tied up.
Holloway gets blocked, and that one falls through. Bukovchin gets one to sneak in.
High Point continuing, when they are running a nice offense, it's when they're utilizing these tall players. It doesn't have to be super quick, it's just high, and it gets the ball and allows those tall players in the front row to find angles.
So High Point with the 1-point lead, 13-12 here in set number 4. Briscoe gets it over. Kept alive by the Panthers. Hey, and that's how you do it right there. Grace Thomas.
Thomas finishing off what was a very, very good play, both sides. Great defense from High Point to steal a couple of those swings, but I like the patience from Central Michigan and to keep fighting, keep attacking.
What a way to sneak that one through from Elo Lalonde.
And anytime you have a middle moving laterally, it's really tough to keep your hands and press over the net. That's a tough, tough skill to develop, and Lalonde takes advantage.
Oh, what a strike on the outside from Kripe.
And everything about Kripe's approach said she was gonna go cross court, right? But you see she waits on that ball, allows it to pass just a little bit, and then finishes that swing down the line. A terrific turn, recognizing the open court.
That was almost, she had like a little no look there too.
Right.
Gabby Hill. Back in the day, maybe they still have like the carnival games where they had like the punching machine and you could see how hard something.
Yeah.
I want to see that between Kripe and Gabby Hill.
Right.
Both of these two are just absolutely swinging hard today.
Well, and how fun, dynamic freshmen, right? Making a big, making their presence known and showing they're going to be really fantastic for the next few years.
Brooklyn Connor getting it back for the Chippewas.
And right now, offensively for Central Michigan, you've got Connor with 12 kills hitting 800. Kripe is there with 10 kills, but has taken a bigger load and just taken some swings. She's only hitting 0 at this point.
Gabby Hill gets blocked by Connor and company.
And here we are halfway through this 4th set, right? About tied, just a 1-point set. Which team's gonna really step up here and try to generate momentum? Because it really comes down to one run of points.
Whoa, that one sailed far.
So this is what's fun when you're a freshman. Your job, just go swing. Swing away, and we've seen that, right, with Kripe and with Hill. I'm gonna go up, regardless of the set, and I'm just going to unload on the ball. There's a nice freedom you have when you're a freshman.
And both of the freshmen have hit balls like that.
Yeah.
And they both have turned around to their teammates and they've had like this grin on their face. They're laughing. They're like, sorry, guys.
Yeah, I think that's what's great about it. Not a lot of pressure. Your job is just to go out there and unload and have fun. And you do like to see their response. I think coaches look at how did someone respond when they fail? Can they get over it? Can they move on? And both these players, these freshmen, really look great. I think their team maintains their confidence in them by how they respond to the errors.
Right now, Central Michigan with the 2-point lead. Midway through set number 4. Central Michigan took the first set 25-14 and the second set 25-14. And then High Point came back in set number 3 and took that one 25-20. And here we are right now. Central Michigan trying to close this one out, and High Point trying to force a 5th set.
And I think if you're Central Michigan, you want this rotation to stay as it is. Kripe serving, right? And then you've got Connor in the front row. So score as many points as you can right here.
Here's the serve from Kripe. Hill gets it over. Big smash. Abby Olin, we haven't called her name in a while.
And once again, Addison Freeland there as the middle for High Point, but wasn't pressed over and in good position, and so that ball just kind of dribbles down the front. But Central Michigan continuing to score in this rotation.
And that one from Gabby Hill takes a deflection off of Central Michigan for a side out.
It's a side out, it's a point, and it gets Kripe off the line.
Trifecta.
Right.
Oh, nice play at the net. Very heady there.
I think that's the second time Mill has called her own number there. And it's really tough when you're in the back row, right, to go over on two, but Mill doing a great job picking her moments.
Gabby Hill going right at Mill there.
And Gabby Hill has 17 swings.
Wow.
And she only just really started, came on extensively in the third.
And a miss hit from High Point. Tacks on another for Central Michigan. And the Chippewas are 5 points away from taking set number 4 and the match. Molly Beatty with the serve. Point for Central Michigan.
And I think for High Point, just really struggling to stay out of the net. That one in particular wasn't necessarily too tight of a set, but I think all the players after this match, you know, just want to tighten it up, stay on their side, and really cut down those unforced errors.
Timeout on the floor, 21-17.
And this is the moment right here for High Point, right? You look at Central Michigan, who every time they have hit that 20-point mark first, they've just seemed to roll quickly. If High Point wants to come back, this point right here is the most important one of the match. They've got to get the ball back.
We'll see what is being said here from Ryan Meek in the huddle and how his girls respond. Ariel Wilson breaks the huddle, and her team with the 4-point lead. There's a good look at Coach Meek.
And what he's drawn up is, let's get that pass up to the net, right? Get a pass up to the net, and then look for them to utilize the right side of the floor. They've got some tall players there. Obviously, Ella Grace Holloway has been so good all match long, and then Addison Freeland. And then if you're Coach Wilson, you want your team to keep the pressure on High Point. Get a nice serve, put up a really solid block, and try to stay in control.
So back to serve, Molly Beatty for the Chippewas. Beatty on the outside. And a touch off of High Point. Keeps Beatty at the service line.
Molly Beatty again, just shooting that ball to the outside. And these outside hitters, all of them for Central Michigan, run a really quick offense and are able to attack that block in front of them.
And that's high percentage again from Grace Holloway.
Yeah, who knew that? 2-ball in the middle, right? For High Point, it's been so effective by a few different players. And you have Holloway, who really is coming inside. She's playing on the right, but they're running that 2-ball in the middle just because they can attack those angles and get those kills.
Central Michigan getting it over. High Point on the attack. Good block. The double block at the net.
And that's something High Point really wants to see more of. They would have liked it throughout this match, but if they can get their block going and get this big physical front line to make an impact, that can really disrupt the offense.
Oh, and an ace from High Point. Hannah Langton thought about it, watched that one go and hit the line. And so High Point only within 2 now.
Right, and for sure Central Michigan wants a timeout right there. Don't let them get one more, get too close, settle in, try to get that side out. And again, you look at where that ace is going, right in between people. Ooh. This one kind of looked like they thought it was going to drop or keep going out, but it's the lack of communication that's really critical in these preseason matches. You want to be extra talkative when you're in the passing lanes.
22-20. High Point not making it easy. And more fans are going to start to trickle in as the hometown Cougars will take flight here in a little bit after this match ends. And Smith Fieldhouse, always an electric atmosphere. And on a Friday morning, these students would love an excuse not to go to math or science.
Well, it's a Friday before school starts.
Oh, that's right.
And so
that's totally right.
But
I'm used to high school.
You still have people here.
It's
that's
totally
amazing,
true.
Right? These freshmen haven't even started, and it's usually a really fun weekend. The community of Provo really supports volleyball. It's a fun sport to watch, really exciting, and regardless of who's on the floor.
So High Point with the serve.
And that was probably exactly how they drew it up in the timeout. I'm just kidding. Obviously, that is not what they wanted to see, but they were able to turn that around out of system play and using those high hands again to get that ball. Maggie Hewitt stepping in. She's just a sophomore herself, so much youth on the Central Michigan team.
And here we are now, match point for Central Michigan. Match point for the Chippewas. Rainey Weidman, the freshman, with the serve. Grace Holloway. Whoa, what a kill. Hannah Langton took that one off the chest. She wasn't ready for that one.
And that was a beautifully executed play. Great location on the set, allowing Holloway a lot of space to hit into and use her size. And that's just something High Point can take. They want a little more of that.
High Point still alive. Briscoe with the serve. Gets it over. Double blocked, and High Point continues to rally.
There you go, High Point stepping in, and that's 2 big blocks kind of down the stretch, keeping them in this match. Got a lot of fight from this team, and Central Michigan just wants to close this out. They can feel High Point starting to roll. They do not want this to go to 5.
High Point trailing by 2. If you're Coach Meek in the huddle, what are you saying right now?
Just one more big play, right? One more stop. Let's try to get this stop on the block. They've got a really solid block there in the front row, so it's a defensive effort right here.
And then if you're Coach Wilson, just try and settle and get your shot.
And get that pass up to the net. They've got a really nice offense they've been running.
And they got Kripe in her position on the left-hand side, which she's been most effective with today.
Yeah, interesting. I wonder what, would be ideal for them to run. They don't have, when you don't have Connor in there, it's tricky to have a go-to player for you. So running that offense, you might want to get the ball to Kripe, but she would need that in-system quick set.
So High Point with the serve. Brooke Briscoe, the sophomore, Versailles, Ohio. High Point trails by 2, and it's match point for Central Michigan. Briscoe gets it over with an ace.
Wow.
Whoa.
You can see the bottom drop out of that serve. So much on the line, right? You're serving for your life and steps in. You can see Central Michigan really only passing with 2 players there, a lot of court to take.
Briscoe gets it over in that same spot. Kripe gets it back over, kept alive by High Point. Miscommunication, and a point to tie it up for High Point. Holy cow.
Well, and at this point, this is the first time we've really seen Central Michigan struggle to figure out who they were going to set, what they were going to run. Terrific serving for Briscoe to disrupt the Central Michigan team.
So now we're all tied up, and Briscoe continues to serve. And there's that adrenaline.
She got 2 in, right? And now opportunity here with High Point feeling pretty good. They can get a pass up there to the net. Their offense is running well. Can Central Michigan close it out?
Match point for the Chippewas. Kept alive and punched down. Who else to do it but Kripe? So Central Michigan gets the victory over at High Point, 26-24 in set number 4.
First match of the season for both these teams saw a lot of back and forth, a lot of great plays, a lot of opportunities to learn, and Central Michigan feeling good to walk away with this one.
For all of our hardworking staff and crew behind the scenes, for Amy Gant, for Julian Riley, Ron Ralston, and Big Mike, I'm Brandon Crow saying so long. BYU coming up next.
Welcome to the greatest show on earth. Oh, yes, sir. All right, who's ready to kick off the season?